let me pass to our first speaker, who is Xinran Liu from the University of Edinburgh. And he's a postdoctoral researcher in the Particle Physics Experimental Group in the School of Physics and Astronomy. And he currently holds an STFC Leadership Fellowship in Public Engagement. And within that programme, he's led the development of the Remote 3 project, which aims to deliver much needed STEM outreach to some of the most remote areas of Scotland. So over to you, Xinran. We're very much looking forward to hearing your presentation.
Thank you so much for that amazing introduction. Thank you. Let me share my slides there. Okay. Okay, cool, perfect. I think that should be up. Okay, good. Good morning, everyone. So thank you very much for that introduction again. My name is Xinran Liu, and I'm a STFC Leadership Fellow in Public Engagement at the University of Edinburgh. So I started in this role in February of this year, and the project I lead, as mentioned, is called Remote Cubed, which stands for Remote Sensing by Remote Schools in Remote Environments. So the Remote Cube project, as mentioned, delivers STEM engagement to some of the most remote areas of Scotland. The project is aimed at S1 to S3 students in 30 Scottish high schools. Teams of 4 to 6 students are assembled per school, and over a 14-week period, they design, build, and program a miniature Mars rover, which is then sent to the Bowlby Underground Laboratory to explore the STFC Mars Yard, located 1.1 kilometers deep underground. So we provide all the necessary components to build a working Mars Explorer, a teacher's workshop where we meet and discuss the core ideas of the project, as well as an introduction of how the LEGO Mindstorms work. We also provide an induction afternoon at the school to explain the challenges and provide mentoring and training and support in the use of the equipment and programming of the rovers. So each school is also assigned with a dedicated mentor who will be on hand to make sure the project is a success. So prior to the launch of Remote Cubed, to demonstrate the feasibility of the project, we trial ran the idea during a Rutherford Appleton Lab summer coding week. So 20 pupils aged from 8 to 14 were split into teams of 4, and at the end of the week, they saw their Mars rover at the STFC Mars Yard taking data and exploring the terrain. They then presented their finding to their parents and peers, as well as STFC senior management. And from their feedback and evaluation, we were confident that the Remote Cube project is deliverable and at scale. So the project's primary goal is to inspire innovation, design creativity, digital skills, teamwork, team building, as well as oral and written presentation skills. Secondary goals are to promote and provide the awareness of the remarkable ongoing frontline scientific activity taking place across the UK and overseas. So we have also built up links with other robotic projects taking place at the Sanford Underground Laboratory, where I spend the other half of my time underground. The PI for that project is Brianna, and we have agreed to build a sister school connection between Scottish and South Dakotan students so they can have peer-to-peer learning and also learn more about each other's cultures, similarities, and differences. Sanford is located in the Black Hills of South Dakota, home to large populations of the Lakota people, and the lab has always had a focus on working with the indigenous people, and we think this would be a really wonderful additional connection between the two underground laboratories. So we also work closely with the Jinping Underground Laboratory in China and the public engagement team in the Chinese Academy of Science ever since I was invited to represent UKRI to speak in front of 100,000 students live in China for Dark Matter Day in 2019. So and there are many people here in Edinburgh who are keen to establish other links with universities in South Africa and Ecuador. So there is a real potential for global connections with this project. But our project, along with many others, had to temporarily be placed on hold as a result of the school closures in the UK due to the pandemic. So in this case, working in particle physics and large international collaborations meant that we already had the tools and means of working and sharing information, which we can bring directly into the classroom. So we stayed in touch with our teachers, offering help where needed, and we worked with them to develop an online coding course which captured the core values of Remote Cubed. We decided to use Scratch, which is freely available via all web browsers, in order to minimize the barrier to entry to our coding challenges. And over a 10-week period, we delivered 10 challenges in each session with a specific aim, such as looking for life on Mars. And we invited speakers from around the world to talk about their work, including speakers from NASA's Jet Propulsion Lab, ESA, and the Amundsen Scott South Pole Science Station, which was particularly exciting. And that was also expanded to more than just Scottish schools, but also those around the Rutherford Appleton Lab and Bowlby areas. So at the same time, we worked to develop space and coding related resources for the schools and teachers, which can be sent out to the pupils and done at home with or without computers. So long-term plan now is to combine all that material into developing a new badge for Girl Guides and Scouts. And we're working closely with the Muslim Scout Fellowship to test the main ideas. And we launched our website during National Coding Week last year and took part in the Big Bounce organized by the Institute of Physics, during which we delivered a coding workshop over a 2-day period. Finally, we developed a Remote Cube short story, which is aimed at a much younger age group, which was delivered with great success. So our current plan is to turn that into a storybook. All of this was made possible by the incredible team I work with, from the wonderful public engagement team at RAU to volunteers from the scientific computing team, the Bowlby staff, and of course, all the volunteers here at the University of Edinburgh. I can't stress enough just how stress-free this team has made my life by being there where and whenever needed. But we all look forward to getting back into schools and start building robots. Going forward, post-lockdown, for a project like Remote Cube, there's really no substitute for the hands-on experience of building and testing a miniature Mars rover working as a team in person. However, we will definitely incorporate elements of remote learning into our engagement, such as weekly virtual meetings between schools and their mentors to ensure each project is on track. And also the tools we developed during remote engagement, such as 3D tours of the Bowlby Underground Laboratory, are invaluable assets going forward. Thank you very much for listening.